All right, day 318. Today we got a subject to deal in Denver, Colorado. A subject to deal, again, is when you are buying the property subject to the existing financing. And you're taking over, so you still own the property, but the loan is going to stay in the prior owner's or prior borrower's name. You're just taking over the payments on that loan. Okay, so today we have a property, 1747 Pearl Street, Unit 202, Denver, Colorado 80203. Purchase price $484,235, 3.87% interest rate. That's a great interest rate. Total monthly payment is $2770, and your entry fee to get into the property is $45,000 plus closing costs. So in this scenario, let's go ahead. It's a 2-bed, 2-bath, 963 square feet. So chances are you're not going to be able to add an extra bedroom with that little square footage. Here's your breakdown. It's $35,000 cash to seller and $10,000 assignment fee. Let's write that one down. $35,022, and $10,000 assignment fee. Okay. PITI breakdown is $2370, and your HOA is $400. So your total monthly payment is $2770. I'm going to use the $2770 because that's holistic. It includes everything, and that's how I'm going to back into what am I paying on a monthly basis for taxes and insurance. So $2770. I'm going to go and plug in the details here for the loan. So as we got these numbers in, let's plug in $484,235. $484,235 for my purchase price. Put that in B4. Interest rate 3.87. So I'm going to go here 3.87. The underlying loan amount is, where is it? $439,213. $439,213. Maturity date of 3/1/52. So I'm going to subtract 30 years from that. So 3/1/22 is the original date, just June 30 years before that. And let's go ahead and analyze this deal. All right, so now that I got these details in here, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go and see and take a quick look at the property. This property looks, that wallpaper, you probably take it down, just do some touch-up paint. So I might just do some touch-up paint on about 20% of the home just to kind of touch up any spots in case there is a need for that. So there's some parking. All right, so 963 square feet. All right, so let me first get the fair market rents for this property. I'm going to do that by looking up a county. This is in Denver County. So I'm going to go to HUD FMR. I'm going to Google HUD FMR. FMR stands for fair market rents. Click on the first link. Click on access to small area FMRs. Look up FY 2024 FMRs. Go to Colorado. Go to Denver County. And now I'm going to get a by bedroom count by zip code. This is 80203. 80203. Your rent ceiling for a 2-bed is going to be $2570. 2570. 2570. What's it for a 3-bed? Wow, it's expensive here. 3360. 3360. What a big lift from a 2-bed to a 3-bed. If you can find a 2-bedroom where there's enough space to add an extra bedroom, turn to a 3-bed, that might be where I would tell you to start out with. Denver County. 80203. 80203. Cool. There we go. Just write down all these numbers because my partners already know how to analyze deals. So this is the fastest way for me to quickly look at the deal. So yesterday I had a great comment. The person asked that it looks like I'm buying everywhere, but I'm not buying everywhere. I'm just buying only in places where I have teams. In reality, I'm just underwriting everywhere because I want to share with you the process still applies in whatever market you're in, right? You can look up some crime scores and stuff like that. That's still a good habit, but that's something that you should do and something that you need localized knowledge for. Sometimes there are certain areas where the crime score is really, really bad, but there are pockets or areas or streets that might still be good. And that just requires local knowledge. That requires how much is asking your inspector or your contractor to see if they'll take a job there, right? Like, will they go there at night? Great questions to ask. And for you to gauge the general condition or the neighborhood vibes in that area. All right. So now I got 484. I got my ceiling rents here at $25.70, and now I need to get my market rents. To get my market rents, I go to affordablehousing.com, go to the owner section, plug in the address, plug in bedroom count, and you're gonna see that right here that the market rate for a 2-bed, wow, within a 0.03 mile radius. So there's tons of comps here, right? 0.03, 0.03, 25 units. Your average rent is 2567, 2567. Wow. All right, well, that gives you pretty high confidence that you're not going to get a rent that much higher. Oh, look, and it's right next to the fair market rents. So just remember, 2570 typically includes utilities. So if you don't include utilities, you got to do a little bit lower. But since the market rate is right here, I'm just going to use 2570 as the rent assumption for analyzing this deal. And you're going to see in a second why it's still not a deal, right? Because of how high the payments are. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Now, if I use my rent as 2570, 2570, plugging that right into B16, cell B16, right? I don't have secondary loans. I'm going to zero out K16. And now I got my rents in here. I got 2.5% for closing costs. For my renovations, I'm going to go into my rehab calculator tab right here. And I'm going to do about 200 square feet for, I got $450. Actually, usually I replace both the toilets with high pressure flush toilets. So I'm going to do that right here. And I'm going to do about 250 square feet because that's roughly around 25% of the home that needs some touch-up paint, $3 a square foot. That's probably roughly it. $500 for some landscaping, but I don't have any roof issues here because I'm pretty sure it's sharing a common roof. So I'm zeroing that out for the purpose of this deal analysis. So I only got about $2,600 just in case anything pops up. I got some money set aside to renovate the property. Now, for my taxes and insurance, I'm going to do equals the total disclosed amount, right? If you remember correctly, the total disclosed monthly payment was $27.70, which includes the HOA. So equals 2770 in cell B28. I'm subtract the principal portion of the subject to loan and the interest portion of the subject to loan. That gives me $705. That is the amount that I expect to pay for insurance, taxes, and HOA in this scenario. So I'm leaving my HOA line in B34 0, right? Because I got the total disclosed amount. I'm just backing into the amount I might be paying for taxes and insurance just to kind of estimate your cash flow. Now, if that person already lives in the home as a primary residence, I'm only going to use and add $30 per month of extra insurance expenses. Because typically when you go from a primary residence to a investment property, the insurance companies view that as a riskier asset, riskier profile, whatever you want to call it. So they add an extra or incremental premium to your monthly and yearly amount, however you decide to pay on your payment plan. That's why I'm adding extra $30 there. Then I got 10% for maintenance. So I'm setting aside this money from my rents every single month for things I expect to get replaced, right? We all know the air conditioner is going to break down. I literally just spent $5,000 on replacing parts for 2 of my units. With the roof replacement, I'm doing roof renovation right now. That's about 10 grand, but they're probably 15, 20 grand depending on your labor. And you know that's going to get replaced in 10, 15, 20 years, right? Especially if it rains a lot or snows a lot, that might have more issues and it might cause a faster renovation or replacement need on your end. So just be mindful of that. 10% for property management, 5% for vacancy. So if you were to rent this property out as a 2-bedroom for $25.70 a month, you would be negative cash flow after all those expenses, $873 a month. And that's a negative 17.5% return. So to me, that is not a deal. Even though you have an amazing interest rate at 3.87 when the market is going for roughly around, let's call it 8%-ish, right, for a DSCR loan. So that's how I decide whether or not I'm going to spend any more time on this deal. And in this scenario, I'm not going to spend more time on this deal because I know it's not cash flowing. Now, obviously, this is not investment advice. I'm not soliciting any investments on this call. There are probably people in the world that invest specifically for no cash flow, right? Zero cash flow. But if they know that they're in a high appreciating market, and I say this cautiously, they know, it's really meaning that they're speculating, which means it implies a lot of risk, that there's going to be appreciation in the market, right? If you go up 5% on a $1 million property, that's 50 grand, right? That's going to more than make up than $100 of cash flow that you might be looking for the deal, right? So choose your strategy wisely, understand why you're doing it, understanding your own investment profile, your risk profile, your risk tolerance. And that's why you got to talk to your own investment professionals, right? It's not investment advice. I'm just showing you all the work that I do every single day to build in the reps, get into practice, and get better at this every single day. So if you want to look at the same deal I analyzed today, right? The spreadsheet is like right here. And you're going to see that we have all these details right here. You guys can go ahead and do it. And now what you want to do is figure out how to analyze the deal. And you guys can get a copy of the spreadsheet. Just go to affordablehousing.io, go to the Get Deal Analysis tool, put in your name, your email, your phone number, and then click on Get Real Deal Analysis tool. And that's the fastest way to get a copy of the spreadsheet, right? I didn't make this spreadsheet from scratch. I got it from a few other folks. I combined some couple of spreadsheets. I added my own. And from that point onwards, I learned how to analyze these deals really fast, really quick. And learning how to rule out deals really fast is going to be really important for you to avoid burnout. Because how do you burn out? You burn out by doing a ton of work for no results, no fulfillment. So I hope you learn how to exactly come up with a process that works for you, your investment profile, your investment type, and you can go from there. All right. Have an amazing day, everybody. I'll be back here again tomorrow for day 319. Have a good one, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow.